Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Tuesday marked the first day of school for districts all across Minnesota. And at Fernbrook Elementary in Maple Grove, it was a day filled with excitement despite the absence of one of their trusted staff members, Yvette Hoffman.
All of our kids made it to class safely and on time and so on and so forth. So very smooth day for such a large school, and that's credit to all of my teachers and all of the staff, because we had people in multiple corners making sure kids got where they needed to go.
With more than 1,100 students between grades K through 5, Fernbrook Elementary is the largest elementary school in the Osseo School District. Teachers and staff members spent the day helping students get acquainted with the building. But one person who wasn't there to help out the kindergartners was Yvette Hoffman. She's an educational support professional at Fernbrook, and she's still recovering after being shot in her home this past June.
Now, not having that, we feel the gap. But we've had some amazing folks step in to fill that gap in Yvette's absence. And so, and part of it is making sure that things go well here, because we know Yvette is thinking about us. She messaged us last night, and we want her to feel healthy, knowing that we got this here until such time as she's ready to come back.
There is still no timeline for Hoffman's return to Fernbrook. Meanwhile, a new elementary school will open in Maple Grove next fall, which will help reduce enrollment at Fernbrook by about 400 students. A family in Plymouth says it's facing a dilemma as the school year is getting underway. The Wisco family has 3 boys, and one just started kindergarten this week. However, due to policy changes in the Osseo area school district, he won't be going to the same school as his siblings.
This is not right. You know, I don't agree with putting policies over families, right? And I go, here we have a 5-year-old that just wants to be with his brothers.
Carson Wisco attended preschool classes at Cedar Island Elementary in Maple Grove. However, the school district told his family he couldn't open enroll at the school this year as he started kindergarten. Instead, he has to enroll at Oakville Elementary. That means he won't go to school with his 2 older brothers who already open enroll at Cedar Island. His parents made a request for an exception, but that request was denied. They said it made for a challenging morning as Carson took the bus to class.
Seeing him get on the bus, I mean, that was difficult, right? Just because there wasn't his big brothers or anybody on the bus that he knew to kind of comfort him and help him, right? So it was kind of I could tell that he really wanted to run off the bus.
CCX News reached out to the district. We'll post their response at ccxmedia.org. Test scores revealed before the new school year show that there's plenty of work to do. Scores remained stagnant statewide while they fell a few percentage points locally. Statewide, just under half of students met grade level benchmarks for reading, according to new Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments data. Locally, the 3 largest districts in our area saw slight drops in reading. Anoka-Hennepin remained just above 50% proficiency. Osseo was just under 50%. Wayzata, while having the highest proficiency mark, has dropped 5 percentage points compared to 4 years ago. Minnesota educators say staffing shortages are contributing to issues impacting more than 80% of districts this school year. A new school year brings new faces and some familiar ones taking on new roles. The Osseo Area School District welcomed 3 new principals for the new school year. Kimberly Burling will serve as interim principal at Osseo Senior High School. She previously was assistant principal. Xavier Reed is the new principal at Maple Grove Middle School. Reed previously served as principal at Wayzata Central Middle School in Plymouth. And Stephanie Webster takes over at Birch Grove School for the Arts in Brooklyn Park. Webster was previously principal at Crestview Elementary in Brooklyn Park. Best wishes on the new school year. In other news, a Plymouth woman is frustrated after losing a beloved tree to an Xcel Energy tree trimming job. I explain why she says it wasn't what she asked for. When Christy Spike came home from work in mid-August, she saw something unexpected.
I stopped the car in our driveway and I left it running and I got out because I was in such disbelief. Like, what am I actually looking at here? Is the entire tree on the ground? And sure enough, it was.
Her mature honey locust tree, one of 4 in her lawn, was down.
The whole tree was in pieces in our yard. The stump at that time was at least 2 feet off the ground. They didn't cut that down or anything.
Spike says she filed a request back in May for Xcel to trim the tree back, as some limbs were close to power lines. But she says she didn't want it all taken down.
It's devastating to lose a healthy, mature tree without any warning or consent.
Xcel Energy said in a statement that the decision to remove the tree was based on a few factors, adding that, quote, "Our crew needed to remove a significant portion of the tree to prune it back a safe distance from the power line. Upon finishing this work, our crew decided for aesthetic and safety reasons to remove the entire tree." The company also said they typically leave large limbs for the homeowner's use or disposal. Spike told us that a week later, she found an Asplin contractor to remove the tree parts. The contractor charged Xcel for the job. But she hasn't heard from the company herself.
There was nothing wrong with the tree. It was not an emergency situation where it was, constantly touching the lines. It wasn't on fire. It was just so unnecessary.
Spike says this situation was disappointing, and the stump is still there.
It was a 36-year-old tree, a fully mature tree that provided shade for our yard and for our house. And that is not something that you can just run to the store and replace.
We'll post Xcel Energy's full statement at ccxmedia.org.
The Cooper football team hoped to get off to a strong start as they kicked off the 2025 season against St. Francis. Jay Wilcox has highlights.
Cooper hits the field for the football season opener against St. Francis. On a fourth down play, Beckham Van Voorst throws to a wide open Eric Larkins for a 21-yard touchdown, and Cooper leads it 7-0 after the opening quarter. Early in the second, the Hawks are backed up deep, but Van Voorst throws long to Ashton Harris, who bounces off the defender and makes the catch. Harris takes it the rest of the way for an electrifying 96-yard touchdown. Cooper goes up 13-0. St. Francis battles back, though. Owen Darso takes the handoff, bounces off a little traffic, and gets in for the touchdown. The Fighting Saints are within 13-7 at the halftime break. The third quarter is key. Tanner Rothbauer with the pump fake, and he throws deep to David Downs, who fights through the strip attempt to score a 53-yard TD, and it's 14-13 St. Francis. After a Cooper turnover, they strike again. Rothbauer to Adam Jordan. This one's good for a 40-yard touchdown. St. Francis stuns the Hawks to go up 22-13 after 3. After another Fighting Saints touchdown, Van Voorst zips it to Yanni Brown. A 2-point conversion pulls the Hawks within 8, but that's as close as they get. St. Francis beats Cooper in an exciting opener 29-21. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Providence Academy football team opened the 2024 section playoffs with a 41-7 win over Zimmerman. Those teams met again in the season opener for this year.
First quarter, Thunder and White. Quarterback Thomas McEachran fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. Good blocking springs the senior for a 42-yard touchdown run as Zimmerman takes an early 7-0 lead. After a quick 3-and-out by the Lions, the Thunder on offense again, but John Weisman strips the ball from the running back. There's a scramble for the football before Quinn Lacombe scoops it up and returns it the final 33 yards for a touchdown. The Lions tie the game 7-7. But the Thunder strike again on the first play from scrimmage following the kickoff. And again, it's McEachran on the quarterback keeper. He's got good speed and pulls away from the defenders to score an 83-yard touchdown. Zimmerman back in front, 14-7. Late first quarter, Ryan Schmidt takes the toss, follows his blockers, and goes 8 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. The Thunder lead the Lions 28-7 after a quarter. Second quarter, Providence quarterback J.J. Rooney finds Day-Day McCrimmon in the front corner of the end zone for a 15-yard TD. It's 35-14 Zimmerman at halftime. The Thunder, though, put the game away in the third quarter, adding 2 more touchdowns, including one on this 21-yard run by Schmidt. Zimmerman goes on to win 49-20. Providence Academy plays at Delano Friday.
Even with the calendar turning to September, there is still good fishing weather ahead this month. Here's Terry Tuma with this week's CCX fishing tip.
When we're using plastics for bass fishing, we have that choice of using the plain plastics, if you will, with no added colors. But what I personally will do for bass fishing, I'll start out with a plain, say, green pumpkin, and then as the fishing gets a little bit tougher, or if the water gets a little bit darker, a lot of sunlight, a little deeper, then I'll jump over to the sparkle or the flake ones. And the reason being is that these now, one is it's a little different appearance to the bass, but also that will reflect light. But it's something to do, consider. But again, it's a starting point, again, depending on water clarity, is starting out with the plain, for instance, green pumpkin, then green pumpkin with candy or watermelon added sparkles. But it is something to consider. It will definitely increase your success under certain conditions.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.